I mean, we just need some support documents on like how to do certain things. Hey, here's an app. Here's how it works. There's also things like the privacy policy in terms of use. We just have a bunch of external docs that we'll need to get ready for users. So that's what this is all about. Any updates on this, NF Thinker?
No, I have not done any work on
All
the
right,
docs
no
at
worries.
all.
I'm going to be hopefully working on the privacy policy in terms of use after I handle the styling of the homepage. Orange Dial Fellowship. This is pretty important. I'm going to go ahead and stick this up here because
Yeah,
it's
that
due
should be
today.
done today. And quick update on accelerator programs. We did not get into A16Z, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, that sucks, but
Yep.
it is what it is. It's not. It's not. Let's just say it's not unexpected.
Yeah, the competition is heavy.
Competition is heavy, and I think that most people don't think that what we do is even possible. So let's just release our proof of concept and show them how possible it is.
Mm-hmm.
Our POC launch campaign is ready. We already had a an update from Coffee Crusher, but if you want to take a look at these, if you looked at apparently there was a live version of this. I was unable to see it, but this is what Transcendence has been working on. Maybe you want to give an update on this, NF Thinker, since you're actually at the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. So when she says the live version, it's just him in his modeling app, and he's just able to move, reposition them, that type of thing. It's not a full render. So the concept is we will have the bunny walking down Wall Street, and he'll come upon the bull, the static bull that lives there, that statue, and then either he'll put noggles on the bull, or noggles will just appear, fall out of the sky, something like that. Now, that 3D bull will serve as a guide for visual effects. So the actual bull, they'll be able to sort of overlay this digital bull on it and be able to make it look like it's coming to life a bit. They could do the smoke, they could do that type of thing. If yeah, so they'll be able to like push and pull it into place. Now the bunny could jump on top of the bull, the bunny could do whatever, but it will look like a real life bunny. So it'll look like, well, I mean, it'll look like an animated bunny, but it'll look like an animated bunny in real life, actual art augmented reality. So it should look pretty dope. What we're missing right now is somebody in New York who can actually go out and film the right angles of the bull. And it can just be iPhone footage, because what we want to do is just create a viral video that will be similar to things other companies that have done, that like it looks like this is actually there in real life, but it's just all smoke and mirrors.
Awesome. So if you know anyone in New York, please reach out to NF Thinker. I think we should also post it on Warpcast as a bounty potentially in Bounty Caster. And we shall see.
Okay, Bounty Caster. I have not seen that, but I'll take a look.
All right. Announce Prop House. This is another proposal that we are going to submit to Friends and Families round. This is continuing to go. If you know anyone who wants to put in 1 to 2K to help us get our POC out the door and running for 6 months, please reach out to me or NF Thinker. Contributor NFTs, we already had an update on. Oh, no, not for contributor NFTs. How's this going, NF Thinker?
Contributor NFTs. Yeah, that was the same as I updated earlier. So we need to make sure that those contributor NFTs are coming from the multi-sig. So we need to get the multi-sig attached, which I do now have permission. So the next step will be to, just get the tokens generated and create a claim page. Once we have a claim page, excuse me, I think I'll probably do 100. Currently, we have 49 wallets in our payments spreadsheet. So that means all of those 49 wallets will be whitelisted. They can go on and claim. Maybe we can give it, say, 2 weeks, and any which haven't claimed, we can then airdrop to the wallets that haven't claimed, because some people are inactive, but it would be nice for them to actually have the token in their wallet.
Great. All right. Next up, we have Ibiza Next, which I think is done. Is that true, Rainus? Rainus, you're muted. I don't know if you know that.
Oh yeah, I started talking. Yeah, Ibiza almost over. I have the reels. I will deliver them to Coffee for social media posting. I haven't uploaded them to Dash yet. The vlog is done. It's posted. The presentation, yeah, is also done. Yeah, one last thing, and it's done. The reels.
Nice. All right. And don't forget to create some bounties for those as well, Rainus, in the BCard governance. All of our contributors deserve to get paid or compensated in
All
governance
right,
rights. Yeah.
all right, we'll do.
All right. Create donor email list. This is something I should do. We actually had a sign up to the donor email list the other day, so that was really great. And we'll be getting more people on there as well. I have a bunch of emails all around that I just need to add to a donor email list. Run next payroll. This is what I'm on right now, just missing 2 bits of information, ETH addresses from 2 of our contributors, which I mentioned. Anything else that we're working on this week that's not here? Actually, you know what? I think it's under Alpha App, but I'm going to make a new project user testing Alpha App. I'm going to assign it to myself. I'm going to add it to the product weekly as well. Success criteria. Get 5 users to end test the production app, and also get a couple of users to test functionality within the Sage Prod app, onboarding, ad funds, etc. And to test the production app, share feedback and insights to the team, gather an SUS score for this. All right, and I'm going to put it in there. We'll work on this as we go, but we need to get it done before we launch because we want to ensure that it's something that people can actually use before we launch it, and a bunch of people use it who we don't know. So we may do a soft launch with some, let's say, friendly testers. Other than that, anything else that we want to that is on our list that we're working on that we haven't said yet? All right, let's get back to our weekly all hands. To my favorite part, what did we ship last week? So I shipped a releasable onboarding plus profile plus support pages. NFThinker gave me some feedback on that, which I have not yet processed NFThinker, but I will get to it when I'm able to. Lawrence shipped the ad funds design. Tom shipped some ad funds implementation. I reviewed the ad funds design, and there's a bunch of changes that need to be done, but he said that he updated those already, so I'll take a look at those today. Tom worked on the card issuing and the transcard user transactions. Really great that Tom's able to do that. And NFThinker shipped some carrier updates. So the physical cards will have carriers that send people to our app rather than Paynoover. Myself, NFThinker and Coffee Crusher shipped a new Nouns landing page, which was approved by the Nouns team. I got 1K more in donation to the multisig. Second email mailer to subscribers shipped on 11/25. 1 of 3 videos on what is Bankless Card. And Thinker submitted an Alliance application, accelerated application, discovery call with Liquid. It's a weird way to spell liquid. Transcendence completed the bunny cord design and working on final renders. Amazing. Anything else anyone shipped this week that we want to add onto this list? All right. Well, still a good list that we had. The discussion item. There is in case you haven't been around, there was a big, I don't think it was a fiasco on Twitter until Bankless HQ got involved. And so now Bankless HQ thinks it's a fiasco. And as a result, it's become a fiasco for us. For if you don't know, some of our contributors from the DAO posted a proposal on Arbitrum, basically saying we're going to be doing these educational things. We would like to get paid in ARB tokens for this. And the crypto Twitter just went nuts. They didn't really understand the difference between Bankless DAO and Bankless HQ, and they started accusing Bankless HQ of grifting the Arbitrum Foundation for ARB tokens, and all this other kind of stuff. And it was honestly not very fun. So now there is the signal that Bankless HQ took from it is that there is some, let's say, uncertainty around how the brand is being used right now, and the way that the brand is being used needs to change. Okay, so they're going to submit a proposal to Bankless DAO to change the name of Bankless DAO to something else, and on top of that, they're also going to they've also booked a meeting with us, Bankless Card, to talk. I don't know what they want to talk about, but you can bet it has something to do with this controversy around branding. So what that means is we may not be able to use the Bankless brand. We may not want to use the Bankless brand because there may be restrictions to the brand as well. I don't know. How many people are up to date with this kind of Twitter drama that happened on the weekend? Everyone aware of what happened?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Any feelings on what happened?
I got very emotional and I posted a whole thread about it.
What's the takeaway?
I don't know. Feels like because I mean our Bankless Latvia node was the one of the first Bankless brand using non-affiliated entities. It was created half a year before the DAO was created, and I personally asked David if we can do this, and I checked the DM yesterday in Twitter. He told that they are hands off with the Bankless spin-offs, and they want the movement to go bigger than their own work on it. That's what he said in 2021 January, something like that, when we talked. And right now, it feels like they are pushing in the reverse gear when the controversy starts and saying no, the brand is not being able to is not being able to use. And I don't know, it feels like everything's falling apart type of a situation, but it could be very good because in these times of pressure, diamonds are made, and this we could come up from this on the other side with a way more better situation than we are in right now. So you never know. But my key takeaway is that the Bankless brand as a brand has been a huge influence on me and my personal life, and I hate seeing it being trashed for something so stupid as a proposal that you can just vote no on if you don't like it. Like I don't understand that controversy. People ask a lot of money all the time. I mean, we asked for 2 million for a whole year everywhere. Um, Nobody batted an eye, but uh, HQ caved into the social pressure and
Yeah.
with the wish to protect the brand, or they'll stand by their own creation that is the DAO.
And I
So
think there was a
really,
lot of uncertainty around whether or not we'll be able to use a brand, and if so, how that looks. They communicate differently to different audiences, but they did post a YouTube podcast this morning in which they indicated they still want Bankless DAO to be able to use the brand. So what that means, oh, what does that actually mean? I'm not quite sure, but that's what we're going to be figuring out over the next couple of days. NF Thinker, do you have any feels on this?
Yes, muchos feels. There, a lot of this probably should have been done a while ago, and I know some of us have been putting in some work trying to bring the DAO and HQ a little bit closer, which I feel is a step in the right direction, because then we're not just two completely separate entities acting in an unrelated way. It's hard to do because David and Ryan are focused on their own thing, and I don't know how they have enough time to do what they do, and I don't know how they would be able to interact with the DAO in a very meaningful way. Personally, I think we should have regular meets, be that monthly, bi-weekly, that type of thing, where we can give some TLDR on what's going on, any of the big, any big news. I feel like requesting 1.8 million ARB tokens is a meaningful event that's about to happen, and we could have, maybe brought that to their attention. I don't think they would have had any problem with it at all, but they would have been prepared.
I don't.
With
I
that
mean, so
said,
I would disagree with you there, but yeah, I understand the feeling. First of all, it's really difficult for us to tell them about anything in relation to the DAO, right? Like I have no
yeah,
direct line with them. They'll never answer my DMs, anything like that. And even if we said, hey, we're posting a proposal to Arbitrum, you can bet they would be like, okay, post a proposal. We don't care, right? Like,
well, that's
because
exactly,
it's a
yeah, that's
proposal.
exactly it. And so, like, the whole point of this is to be a separate entity and let the entity run itself, and they don't have to actually get involved in any way, shape, or form. The brand, though, Bankless, is a mission. It's the Bankless vision and the Bankless mission for this world. We're trying to help. We're trying to do the same thing they're trying to do. We're maybe not as organized in many ways as what they're able to be. They're a very tight unit. We're a very loose unit. I think the most important thing for them to do is what they've already done, which is go public and say, hey, this is not us. We have nothing to do with this, and then just ignore the haters, because there's always going to be hate. There was a lot of talk about whether or not this is some sort of treasury raid, and yeah, it could be, but I don't think it necessarily is. I think it's just people who are super aligned with Arbitrum trying to defend their baby, and beyond that, I guess we just have to kind of figure out and see where it goes. I think they're reasonable, and the term Bankless, beyond being a brand, it has meaning, it has connotation. So if we had to rebrand as a DAO, I think that would have some pretty negative connotations. Then the other thing is they've got a bunch of tokens which they don't know what to do with right now, and by looking at in DAO General, it seems like they're not opposed to donating the tokens back to Bankless DAO Treasury, which would be, personally, I think that would be good for the DAO. But it seems like they're leaning towards burning them as well. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Hey, Hazel, you came up as well when I mentioned this. Did you have something to say about this stuff?
Yeah. Hey guys. Just because it's something that actually I've been reviewing this information. I think that there is things that we cannot control right now, as for example, what happens with the tokens and all these Arbitrum things. But I just wanted to reflect about. The first one is how the proposals are given, because for example, if there is a review previously of the full proposal and the previously to enter to this kind of stuff, for example, I've been reading and there is a lot of people complaining about a podcast for 100,000, and it's a lot of, and especially right now that we are talking about that. I mean, for people in US in with another salaries, this is a fair a fair prices. Uh, but now, right now, Arbitrum ecosystem is having a lot of proposals from another sides, for example, Latin America. I've been reading a lot of them. And there is another prices. So for sure, that kind of disconnection is like, what the fuck is happening and why they are asking so much money? I think that there was a little bit of the reaction when I was talking with a couple of reviewers about his dogs, because I was not understanding at all what happens. And I was like, yes, like, what the fuck? And I understand that. And for other sides, also the conflict of interest with Silatam, but that's another thing. But it's something that we should take a look a little bit about if it's a proposal going to represent to the DAO to previously have a couple of filters from our side, because for sure this was not this had a plan for sure, and not that we was asking the money just for us money. There is a rationalization. There was a lot of podcast and a lot of things, a little bit sometimes overpriced for the dose of Arbitrum. I get that, but the main thing is also about the the conflict of interest that's gonna be and gonna continue to be stay established here, because there is a lot of people who doesn't like that kind of proposal, but it's for the amount. I've been reading another proposal that asks the same money, but for small portions of what we do, and asks the double of the money. Yes, it's like it's
Yeah.
personal. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
I agree.
it's like okay, these 20 assets from 1 to 20 are costing to almost 200 tunes, but there is another ones that just for one asset is asking you like 200,000 of tunes. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
if you're interested, I encourage people to read the proposal. I read the proposal, and I don't think it was that bad. I think it was just a proposal. Of course, there could be. I mean, if I was reviewing that proposal, I would ask questions as well, but I wouldn't call anyone who submitted that proposal a grifter, which I think is what most people took issue with. Anyways, as a result, the way that it's going is that we may not be able to use the brand, and so we shall see. Arkusti, I think I saw you unmute earlier. Did you have something to say to this for this topic? I do want to close it in on what it is related to Bankless Card specifically after, but if there's anyone else who wants to share their feelings on this, hey Hazu.
I don't know, just about the brand. Do you wanna have are you gonna have the call today with the Bankless HQ guys, or where? When?
Yeah,
Because
I don't think it will
you said
be with Ryan and David.
brand
I
too.
think it will be with just their. It seemed like it was just their community manager who's on the call. So yeah, I if it's their community manager, it's probably really just to de-risk any kind of communication that we have during our launch. I don't suspect they may say like we can't use the brand, but that's not what I expect. I expect this meeting to mainly be about, okay, I'm your point of contact. Please tell me when you're going to be doing big pushes. Please tell me when you're going to be doing this kind of stuff. But yes, that meeting is this afternoon at 3:30 Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, because if it's also a rebrand, for example, we still has the black and red colors, just because we wanted to be relational with Bankless now, but it's still if it was not for that, we have another color. So how gonna
Yeah.
be all that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to figure out all the information we need around the brand, and also like that's why we're here to discuss as well. Like I guess like the big thing about this is that we need to understand for ourselves, how does it affect us? We may not be able to use the brand. We may not want to use the brand, and I think that this is something that we really need to understand. Do we want to use the brand? I mean, I think like I don't want to build on a brand that could be unilaterally taken away. I think that is not a good thing. And especially as we are getting into a place where we are going to be having a product out into people's lives. We are going to be communicating with external communities. I don't want to build on a brand that can be taken away just because they want, just because two people feel that way. So that's something. I think that I also don't want to build on a brand that the leader of that brand doesn't follow our values. And at Bankless Card, I think that that in general, our ethos has really been, okay, what does it look like to build a next generation organization? How can we do this in a way that actually empowers people? I think I've said it multiple times that I'm not just trying to build a product, I'm trying to build a next generation organization, a place where people can come to chase their dreams. And it is an organization where we all have a say in the future. So if Ryan and David are taking unilateral actions, which I don't know if they are yet, but if they do we want that? do we want to build under that brand? I'm not so sure. We shall see, right? But there are some potential options that I just wrote down last night. We could get a legal document outlining our rights to the brand. And if we did that, then we could potentially use the brand because we're able to build on this brand, which we have some legal right to. Another thing is that we could use the Bankless name for the proof of concept, make it a success, then shift to another brand after the proof of concept, after we do like a raise of money. The intent would be, okay, we have this proof of concept and we're going to want to show that it's a success. And if we show it's a success and we have people using it, then we have the basis upon which we could be building our own brand. And then another option is we could shift to another brand immediately. Now, if we did this, we would have to probably delay the launch. And so I think that it's not an option that I would want to do, but maybe it's possible. But yes, I guess like in general, thoughts on these options, thoughts on whether or not you want to use the Bankless brand. Feel free, even the people who aren't typically part of the BCard team, feel free to speak up. But I'm really interested, especially in people who have contributed to BCard. I really want to know what you think. Do you want to use the Bankless brand? And if you do, what do you think of these options?
As
Okay.
yeah, we continue.
Go ahead, Winverse.
Oh, okay. So I was just going to say that this is actually a very like interesting conversation, and one I was hoping that we would have today as well. Hero actually brought this up during the governance call on Monday, where he he made the same statement, which is, do we want to use the brand? Um, we have been seeing the conversations going on in Dow General where Cool Cat made a statement about Ryan and David not coming to the community to talk to us first before saying all they said in crypto Twitter. Then we saw where Ryan actually like quoted like replied that with like a screenshot of him coming into the Discord to inform us. But the truth is that that communication came in after hours after he already communicated in like crypto Twitter. So at the end of the day, he was actually telling them before he came to inform us. So it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, come on, like this is a community. Why don't you like come in here, tell us, we talk about it before you go out there, right? So it began to things became clearer, like whether we actually want to use the brand. Then the second thought came in, which is if we do not want to use the brand, we are already this close to launch. Would we now want to change the brand at this time? Is it already too late, or we could still do something about it? And that's actually the place I'm at right now. I don't know if we could go with like a different brand right now because of the launch, or we could stick it out. But I think the suggestion you made as regards like using this to show like a proof of concept, like then we coming out as a different brand might actually work. But I'm curious to see and to hear what others have to say as well.
I would add to this that in my opinion, if we decide to change the brand, we should do it as soon as possible, because once we launch the POC, it's like we're out the door and everybody's gonna be creating brand associations with what we have. And so if we launch the POC as Bankless Card and then decide to switch the brand in 3 months when we launch like our with new communities and stuff, it would put some, I don't know, it would be chaotic and then people won't understand what's going on and stuff. So I would say before we go public, if we decide to change the brand, we should do it before we launch the PLC, and it should happen pretty fast. And we need to decide.
So here's the one thing I don't like about what you're saying, Reynes. I don't think you can. I don't think you can create a brand very fast. Like I just
I'm saying about the. I'm talking not about the like the brand is going to, brand is the perception of our customers of us, our product, our name, what we produce. It's their perception. Of course, we cannot create their perception of us very fast. I'm talking about um the logo and letters and colors, and if we need to change some wording and stuff. I'm saying that we should, like, it would not look very nice if we go out as one and then we have to
Yeah,
switch to another look, because
I
people are
agree.
gonna
That's not great.
create the associations as soon as it's live. So yeah.
I agree with you. I agree that it's not great. And at the same time, like I don't want to delay the launch into the new year if we can avoid it. You know, a lot of people have been working really hard to try to get us to launch by December 8th. Us, Transcard, our partner communities, you know, Tom has been killing it on his side. Coffee Crusher and NF Thinker and Rainus, everyone has really been pulling together on trying to get this out. And if we decide to change the brand before the POC launches, I feel like we're just not going to make this year. We're going to go into next year, and I have to question whether or not it's worth it. Hey, Hazu.
Just quick reflection. In real, the brand is make it or not be a DAO brand, be a Bankless DAO brand. So really, if you check the brand book, you're gonna see that the red and the black was just complements. But in real, we had another colors. The shape really doesn't look anything similar to Bankless DAO. I mean, I put effort in that. And really, if you change the colors just with another options of logos that I set in the brand book, it should appears like a different branding, really. So really, the only that is attaching us to Bankless DAO is the red and black. But in really, the shape was coming up from the cheap
And the
shapes.
name.
Exactly, BCard. Well, BCard and can be BCard, and that's very easy to change in terms of brand. I mean, I'm not pushing that we change all this previously to the launch, but what I am pushing is that our brand really had more consistency, more bases that even the Bankless brand. I feel really proud about that, but really, I work my ass off for do that, and really, we have assets, colors, and all that are really not related to Bankless DAO. We can send them the Bankless, the BCard brand, and it's totally different. If you erase the black and white and red, really, and the name for sure, as Renny says, we are very independent to have a solid brand together.
Awesome. Yeah, we can completely differentiate with a solid brand. I mean, I guess like it's the name as well, right? Bankless Card, BCard. I guess like it feels like a lot of people are like, yeah, let's just do BCard, and I'm just like, let's not just do anything, right? Like I like to take measured moves, and I never like to be rushed when we're making decisions like this because the brand is really important. Go ahead, NF Thinker.
Yeah, the brand is really important, and I do feel like the work that was put into the brand book by Hasu is it's differentiated enough from the term Bankless. We do have our own brand already, and I think it's perfectly good enough to move forward with that. What we're trying to do, what our goal is to help people obviously get involved with DAOs, but also it's to become more Web3, become more quote unquote bankless. There is a natural contradiction to the term bankless. I mean, we just set up our bank account. We're sending money to our bank account right now from on-chain to off-chain. We're interacting with the fiat world, and that requires bank accounts. But the term bankless can be said like bankless as in you don't have a bank, or bank less, meaning use your bank less, right? And we're helping people get to that second one. We're helping people get to the point where they can start to become their own bank. As a term, bankless fits with what we're doing. I think a lot will hinge on our meeting tonight. I personally feel like David and Ryan and the rest of Bankless HQ do like our project, and they want to take us under their wing. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for, is that they're gonna, give us their blessing and say, yes, let's move forward with this. If that happens, I feel like they're going to want to have they understand the optics here. They understand that they're going to be attached to our project, whether they like it or not, just through the term Bankless. So we're going to find out tonight how they feel about it, and how we move forward will depend greatly on how they feel about it and whether or not they want to actually do that and take us under our wing. So I don't think we can necessarily decide anything until we've spoken to them. If we do decide to change and not use the term Bankless, I think we should go with BCard. I don't know what B exactly would stand for, but we have a fantastic brand already. The logo is incredible. You know, the logo just looks so great, and it has the chip integrated. It looks like a B. A lot of time and effort went into it. I don't think we should spend any more time trying to change that brand at all. On top of that, we're gonna be a sort of silent partner, or a silent brand, if you will. People will go out and get a Nouns card. People will go out and get an ApeCoin card. People will go out and get whatever brand it is they're getting card. They'll do that with Bankless Card. They'll be our customer, but they'll do it because they want to support their own brand. So our users might be in the millions. Many of them might not even really know what BCard is, right? Obviously, now we have one app. Maybe in the future we decide to do white label apps for cards for different companies. So I don't know. There's a lot to really be discovered, and I think tonight's meeting will play a huge role in that.
Yeah, I want to give my thoughts as well. I agree with a lot of things you're saying, especially around trying to understand how David and Ryan feel. I don't believe David and Ryan will be at the meeting this evening. I think that's just with Melanie. We'll see, right? I went to permissionless because we were thinking about launching this product, and I wanted to meet these guys and see.
Sorry to cut you off. Just got an email invite for the event, and David and Ryan are both. It's Caitlin, Ryan, David, and then the rest of us.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Okay.
I'm getting nervous now.
We'll see. But yeah, let's not. All this to say, I went to permissionless to look these guys in the eye and ask them whether or not we could use their brand. Okay, because I knew this was a risk going in. I knew we had no paper on this. And I really, really like the brand. I feel like if you've ever talked to me about the brand before, you know how much I love the Bankless brand. I think it could be the next Apple. I think it could be like the biggest brand, which captures a ton of energy that a lot of people feel. Again, not just against banks. You know, banks are just indicative of this like kind of huge wall that we find ourselves pushing against as just regular normal people. Why do these like giant juggernauts exist, and why do they keep squeezing us? That is what Bankless brand represents. It captures the spirit of Occupy. It captures the spirit of all of these kinds of like, you know, the Me Too movement. It captures the spirit of even like a lot of these like right-wing movements where people are just like, we are getting screwed. And I think like this idea can find a home behind the Bankless name. That idea, Bankless, it rolls off the tongue. There's a K in it, which is also really good for branding. In general, it's a really sick brand. It is one of the reasons why I'm at Bankless now. And so you guys know how big a fan I am of this brand. But we cannot use this brand if we have zero ownership of it. And I think that is the most important thing for us to understand. So ultimately, I do think that we should talk to Ryan and David about this, and apparently we will later today, which I'm happy about. And I think it's really important for each and every one of us to kind of decide and ask ourselves how we want to do this, because it's not just, I mean, changing a brand from Bankless to BCard, for Bankless Card to BCard seems easy. Just change a bunch of assets, just change the name, just change our Twitters and stuff like that. But a brand is how you make people feel. And when we are distributing this card, when we are doing our messaging, when we are setting updating our prototype and deciding what features to implement next, it is based upon that brand. It is based upon the message that we want to put into the world, and based upon the change that we want to create in the world, and the feelings that we want people to feel when they're associated with us. So that's why I don't think that we should take this decision lightly. I don't think we have all the information that we need to make a decision. But yes, in general, it is something that we need to figure out together. So thank you for all the feedback, not just the people who spoke, but also the people who left comments in the chat. We're going to be taking all of this into account as we go. But in general, I just want everyone to know that this is something that we're working on, something that we have to figure out together as a team. And hopefully by the end of today, we'll have all the information we need to make this decision. I see we're at the end of our time. Yeah, Hazy, what's up?
Just a quick thing. Also, I will encourage that we gave them, or if they start to talk about the brand management, for sure, show our brand book. But because really it is all the information about what we are doing, what we are projecting, where the logos come from, just to make sure that they understand also the value of the brand that we set it. Because I love Bankless, but Bankless never has a brand book, never invest time in that, really. This was something that we was trying in a future. Now I know, now with all these things, well, we're gonna need to do a rebrand for sure. But in case of Bankless Card invests time, effort, feedback, and a lot of production for make that brand. So that has a value. So I know that, for example, we depend of the autonomy of the brand, and for sure can be renamed and all, but just to that they can also know a little bit. For me, they really like our project. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this, and I think that they're gonna be aligned with that. But even if it's the case, it will be nice to set the parameters about in which moment the brand of Bankless ends and in which moment BCard starts. Because when we create the brand with the colors, which are very multiplied colors, are not just red. Bankless DAO is a client of us, really. We personalize the card for them in white, in red and black, but our colors are others because we are a very wide level that's gonna provide these functionalities to different brands, to different cultures. So that's why I think that we should enhance and show up this in the call that you're gonna have with Ryan, guys.
Yeah, we will definitely have. I mean, we're gonna have prep a little bit before the meet, but we are definitely gonna have a list of links that we can easily click. Brand book being one of them, so that we can go to the brand and show them what we have, right? And I think that one of the problems I think that was revealed is that they didn't have a lot of visibility into what Bankless DAO is doing. Probably that's what they want with Bankless Card, is to have a little bit more visibility. We shall see. I don't know what's going to happen, right? But we're going to see. But I know that we're over time, so I just want to, we can continue talking about this later if you guys like, but I just want to take a few seconds to just say thank you to everyone that's here. We have, there's some drama going on right now, but ultimately we as a team are fucking crushing it. We have a proof of concept that is getting close to launchable state. We have a deal with an external card provider in the United States to issue cards in our name. We have a bank account. When everyone said these things weren't possible, we made them possible. People kept saying that, in general, you can't do what you say you're going to do. And guess what? We did it. And that is what this Web3 space allows us to do. And guess what? No one person could have done this. The only way that we could have accomplished this is as a team. Okay, so don't forget that. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for getting to the point where we can actually release something to real users. I think, as a lot of you know, this is when the game really starts to me. So thank you, because this is going to be super fun, and I couldn't think of a better team to have fun with. So thanks, everyone. I appreciate it.